Now, next up, we have our next speaker, physician assistant, Ms. Leah Calder of Madison Medical Group, a dermatology and rheumatology clinic. A native of Mississippi, Ms. Calder is a graduate of Delta State and Emory University. She has over 12 years of dermatological experience with extensive knowledge in diagnosing and treating acne, eczema, and all types of skin cancer. Please help me in joining and welcoming Ms. Leah Calder.
Hey, y'all. I'm so excited to be here and have an opportunity to speak with everyone. It's been such great information already. So starting out, I'm with Belmead Medical and Madison Medical Dermatology. I work with Doctors Miriam Shatley and Anna Asher. And the update was a little behind in that I'm almost 17 years experience, and this age group is one of my favorite age groups to speak to, because I think as the phase of life they're going through and y'all are going through right now, there's so many changes that are happening, and so many of those happen within our skin, that I hope I can help guide through that. I'm also a mom of 3. My kids are 11, 9, and 8. So my 2 girls are the oldest. And so my 11-year-old Collins is right in the midst of this with y'all. So our theme of the day is to love the skin you're in. And I preach this at home. I preach it to my patients, to both my boys and girls, but especially to the girls, that we want to raise daughters, and I'm sure every mom on here agrees, that are confident in their own skin. And so that can look like a lot of things. Today, we're going to actually talk about the physical side of from the skin standpoint, but being confident in that. And with these changes that are happening in life, sometimes we lose that confidence level. I always say the problem with skin is that you can see it. So if something's not the way we want it to be, or if there's issues there, everybody in the world can see it. So there's a big psychosocial side of acne and skin issues because of that, especially in our young women. So one of the things we want to talk about is just starting good routines and good habits. So as part of those routines, we got to be washing our face every day, at least twice a day. So what I tell patients and my kids is every time you're brushing your teeth, you should be washing your face. So that's at least twice a day. And most of us have been told since we are little ones that we brush our teeth twice a day. So anytime you're picking up a toothbrush is to also be washing your face. So with our skin, we want to wash it, and then we want to protect it. And we'll go over some of those things as well. When it comes to washing, now girls, y'all know better than I do on social media, and you can walk into Sephora and Ulta and find all kinds of facial products and tricks to make your skin clear. I will tell you just to be very, very careful with those. And definitely before you try any of these things, is to talk with mom about it first, because a lot of the products that are out there can be too harsh for where you are in life for your skin. So what we usually recommend at our office is very mild cleansers and moisturizers. We love Cetaphil and CeraVe products. Both of those are very mild and should not cause any harm to the skin. And they shouldn't cause any issues from making an acne situation any worse. So we talk about acne. I usually tell you there's 3 things that kind of contribute to acne: too much oil on the skin, too much bacteria, and then hormonal changes, which has kind of been the theme here today. And that's why you start to see this in this age group. And every girl and woman I've ever known has had acne at some point in life. Some of y'all will only get just a little bit, and some will have very significant acne. And then there'll be everybody that's kind of in between as well. And so when I say that to patients, I always say, so remember what you're going through, so is everybody else. And every other girl that's going to school, they know that they have a big bump on their face. So let's be kind to each other and not point out and use names to, make fun of people in the way their skin is, because they're just going through the thick of it, just like you are. So with the washing, after we're washing, we want to protect our skin. We do that with sunscreen. Now, most of the time I'll get the question of, why do we need to do sunscreen every day if we're just going to go to school? Well, we live in a very sunny place, and we get more sun than you think that you do. So going driving to and from school, walking in, going to recess, going to PE, and then the multiple, activities that most everyone's doing after school as well. So in the mornings, usually on a daily basis, we usually recommend SPF of at least 30. Both that Cetaphil and CeraVe product line has that. I love the CeraVe product line for this age group. I have it in my daughter's bathrooms because it has an AM and a PM moisturizer. So the AM has a sunscreen in it that obviously we need to start the day. And then at bedtime, after we wash our face, we put a moisturizer on as well. And so I think it just really starts that habit and the routine that we do something every day, twice a day to our skin. It also helps that for girls who need us in my office later, if they're having significant acne issues, they're already in the routine of doing something twice a day. So when we start incorporating prescription medicines, I think it makes it easier on them and on us to have that consistency that's there. When we talk about washing, obviously y'all get sweaty throughout the day for other reasons. So we go to PE, we go to, sports or dance or whatever after school. And I always say that constitutes an extra wash as well. So the Cetaphil does have some of the cleansing wipes. So we keep those in my car. We keep them in my daughter's PE bag. They know that after we just got home from a soccer tournament, they get in the car and they're handed a wipe to wipe down the skin, because none of us at this day and age go straight home from all the activities we have after school. My daughter goes to PE every day and has to change it and, out of her uniform. She has a bag of those in her PE bag so that she can, kind of wipe off before she heads back into class. So every morning we wash our face, we brush our teeth, and Dr. Philippi already touched on this, is that we also put deodorant on every morning. So if you start those habits now, it'll be like you do it every single day without even thinking about it. So the other thing we always like to talk about is sunscreen beyond just on a daily basis. So what we were just talking about is just on our day in and day out. Now, if we go to like the pool or the beach or soccer tournaments, outside activities, I usually advise to increase that sunscreen to 50 SPF. We love the Blue Lizard line. It's a sunscreen line out of Australia that I think does a really good job with all different skin types. You can order it online. Most of them, they do have a 50. The biggest mistake I think most of us make is we're on beach vacation or at the pool, and most of us will put on sunscreen before we leave to go outside. It's the reapplication that I think we miss. So all sunscreens, no matter how good they are gone within about 90 minutes. So really at the 2-hour mark, we should be reapplying sunscreen throughout the day, as long as we're going to be outside. So until you can get in that routine and that habit, because time gets away from us, and then we're going, oops, I'm already sunburned. Now I need to put, sunscreen on. Well, it's too late then. So you can always put a reminder or a revolving alarm on your phone for every 2 hours. So it at least kind of gives you an alert that, oh yeah, it's time to reapply. So reapplying every 2 hours. The other thing is doing physical barriers to help protect our skin. So my kids and myself, we wear swim shirts or rash guards, whichever word you want to use, to give an extra layer of protection when we're doing outside activities. I think it makes it easier on the child to know that that barrier is there. And so in case they do forget to reapply, they have something that's protecting them. The other is hats and sunglasses. So hats, I'll take a baseball hat, especially for us mom, wearing a big wide brim hat, I think is also great. And then sunglasses. So we need to protect our eyes. Our eyes get a lot of sun damage, and sunglasses are the best protector for that. So on that same note about tanning, I get a question a lot of, what's the difference between tanning, outside when we're laying out at the beach or the pool versus a tanning bed? So if I can encourage one thing today out of everything that I'm going to speak on, is to not allow your girls to start tanning in a tanning bed. We all are going to have battles we have to pick. And this is a battle that in our house that I'm going to stand strong on. we know that there's a 4 times higher risk of melanomas, melanoma skin cancer in patients who tan in the tanning bed. And, girls, I know y'all hear that and go, okay, what does that mean? And how does that affect me? Melanoma is the scariest skin cancer of all kind, and it knows no boundaries and doesn't care about age. But we do know that the increasing tanning bed use has made it more prevalent. And our highest risk age group right now that we are concerned about is our late teens and early 20s female patients. And there's a direct link to that and tanning bed. Years ago, when I first started doing this, the highest risk population was patients in their 50s and 60s, and that population is still at risk, obviously, but this trend into a younger age is a little scary. My youngest patient I have diagnosed with a melanoma is a 16-year-old, and she was not the only one, and it is much higher risk in female patients than it is male. So, and the other thing that people talk about tanning addictions and tanorexia and that kind of thing. What we also know about tanning in a tanning bed is that you do get an endorphin release when you're in the tanning bed. So you might hear girls or even adult women say, "Oh, I feel better when I'm in the tanning bed. I feel better when I get out." And that's because they really do feel better. But it's the same type of endorphin release they get from smoking and drinking alcohol. And we all know as moms, we not allow our children to do that. But they're getting that same little buzz off of it. And that can become addictive and cause, big issues down the line. So I think the tanning bed use is probably the biggest thing I think as moms we need to stay away from. Let me look and see if I've left anything out of my notes. I think there was a question on about sunscreen brands. There's a lot of great brands that are out there. Like I said, I do love in this age group for our tweens is that Cetaphil and CeraVe, and then that Blue Lizard as well. I think in our allotted amount of time, that's all I have. If you're doing all these things and your girls are doing all these things and they're still having some skin issues, that's what we're here for. There are a lot of prescription medications that we can use to help with acne and to help get their skin cleared up so they can feel more confident with themselves. Thank y'all. I appreciate it. Happy to answer any questions.